Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the Walking Dead comic, issue 171. Real quick, there's a variant cover if you guys didn't know about it when you pick up your copy. If you didn't pick it up yet, scoop your copy of the variant cover. Now, there's something weird about the variant. I hear there is a special hidden variant where on the bottom right-hand corner, the artist's signature is in blue on all the standard, and then it's in pink, and it's, I don't know, I guess it has like a couple pages previewing the next issue in it. I don't know. That sounds weird. They've never, from what I can tell, they've never done that before, and it's not announced. I haven't been on the internet all day, though. I'm shipping packages for Doomsday Kingdom, so I've been busy as hell. So I haven't checked it out. You guys look into that and see if there's any truth to that or how rare it is. I was going to run to the shop just to make sure I picked up something like that, and then I was like, well, I'll just call them and ask them to. And then by that time, I just lost interest. Yeah, it's just a different color signature, no different picture, so I don't have any interest. And someone's going to put pictures of the preview anyway for next issue, so if I find it in the wild or I get my hands on it as a gift someday, that's fine by me. I'm not going to rush out because it's a 35-minute drive to get out there. Anyway, jumping right into this issue, my fears were realized. I didn't like it. There's parts I liked. Listen, here's the thing. This is difficult, and this is what I was afraid of. We saw the cover and Fear the Princess. It just looked dumb. For my tastes, it did not suit my tastes. Other people might love it. That's fine. In the world of The Walking Dead, there's stuff you love, and there's stuff you don't like, and there's stuff you really like, and stuff you a little bit like. There's stuff other people love that you didn't like. It's fine. The world is massive. You don't have to love every single character to death, Rosita was a character I didn't really care about, and I guess that's kind of why I don't really care about this back and forth between Eugene and Siddiq. And as far as what I did like in it, though, I like how Eugene was right about to tell Siddiq that he's wrong. She didn't love him. But then again, it's like, Eugene, she cheated on you, so he went behind your back. So how do you know she wasn't just lying to you? Bitches do that, bro. Wake up. But let's just pretend like Rosita's telling Eugene the truth here, and she didn't love Siddiq, and that was just a stupid mistake. And that's one of the flashback panels we see, where has Rosita been dead for so long that Charlie forgot how to draw her? Maybe it's her sad face. That just does, to me, it looks nothing like Rosita. Not the hair, the earrings, sure. I don't know, maybe it's just me and it's the sad face, but that looked nothing like Rosita. I think it's the hair behind her shoulders. At first I'm reading it like, who is that? What is she saying? But I do really like how Eugene realized that Siddiq has been mourning alone, so he kind of just dropped it, and then he gave him a bro hug. I like that. He kind of consoled him. I think that is pretty damn cool. And I did not realize they were on the roof of last issue. How did I screw that up? I thought they were on like one of the middle floors and lighting a fire. I didn't mention that, and I was going to. I forgot. What if they caught the whole building on fire? But now that I see in this picture, it looks like this is taking place on the roof. I gotta go back and look in the last issue and see how I screwed that up because yeah, that looks like they're clearly on a roof. I think they even talk about being on a roof now that I think about it. Anyway, so they get on horseback, and Michonne decides she wants to test it out and see how many walkers are around, so she yells out, and at first there's nothing. I mean, it is a ghost town, and then we hear someone yell, hey, and they turn around, and it's this girl that looks old but acts young. It's a little odd and confusing. There's a part I really like later on. There's parts where I don't mind how kooky the girl is, and I think that Robert Kirkman's dialogue, there's parts that I just straight didn't like as being not interesting, and it's not up my alley. However, I will give credit where credit is due. I really got this vibe as he's writing the dialogue, or as I'm reading the dialogue from this character, that her dialogue is showing off some of this character's character. You know what I'm saying? Like, her characteristics are shining through her dialogue. So I thought he did a fantastic job in that aspect. and I don't know, there's just something about the dialogue as a whole. It just was not at all anything I'm interested in. Then again, if the world does fall apart, you will have survivors that are either, you know, total to any different extreme, real kooky and weird, and you're just like, get the fuck away from me. Or you have some others who are just trying to rob and rape everybody, and you're like, get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? So you're always going to have those in real life. So as far as in the story, though, at this point in time, and even with sexism and racism and all this other stupid shit that I try to avoid all the time on YouTube, that's all I see in my recommendations feed is let's talk about, you know, bullshit, social justice bullshit in comic books and sexism, racism. Like, that's all you see. It's like, talk about an interesting story that's coming out there. Luckily, though, it's not really an image. I have to pass by all these damn pop-ups when or they're in the recommended feed, and they always have to do it like Marvel mostly, or some DC. So and I don't read any of those. I'm strictly with the independents. So luckily, it's not like poisoning the well, so to speak, an image from what I can tell. And I just thought, with all that going around, even her little bit about minorities not being minorities now, and then focusing so much on the aspect of minorities in the dialogue. on one hand, I thought it's just not the right time, because as it comes out, it just kind of feels like it's just not the right time. It's what did I say before? It's poisoning the well, so to speak, and it feels like it's kind of pandering and a little cliche, and I don't know. It felt off to that. However, I like a character that views the world that way. Like, we have so much diversity here in this little group, and you'll have a character saying like, oh, you know, I like that part. And this is where I get a little conflicted, because I think if it was a different type of character, and maybe it wasn't this kooky chick that we got in this new issue, but maybe a different type of character, and if it came at a different time, not so much here's the intro, oh, let's talk about the different, like, here, if you didn't tell, I'm Latina or whatever, and then the other girl's like, oh, I'm Greek. I don't know. There was just something about it where I think maybe another little polish would have helped, you know, as far as my enjoyment reading it. But at the end of the day, when you get to the ass end of the issue, there's one thing that I did actually really like, and it was the trick when she gets to the building. Now, I liked it, but I didn't like it, and here's why. When she gets to the building, the most predictable thing is it's a trap, right? The tension was built real good. She yells up, hey guys, I brought you some horses. And this is where the trap is sprung. And I like this idea, because as you're reading it, you got tension in the moment. And I think they did, Kirkman and Charlie Adler did a fantastic job building that tension as you're reading it. And then when the Michonne, you know, pulls the gun out and aims it at the girl, and the girl starts busting out laughing, again, she's kind of cool. That part I was actually fine with. I actually thought that was a nice little icebreaker for the moment, and I enjoyed that. I was like, oh, you know what? If we had this kooky chick, and she could definitely handle her own. We've seen her, you know, shooting off this assault rifle and taking down some of the walkers before, when they started surrounding the horses. You know, again, there's parts of this kooky character that I think I would be fine with overall, but I think there's also some parts and some aspects that it's just not in my, you know, it doesn't interest me at all. You know, some of it just is painful to read in a way, you know what I mean? And again, that has to do with the kooky nature, the I don't know, just the whole look and the vibe and how she acts. There's parts that I feel is interesting and has a lot of potential moving forward, but then there's other parts where it just kind of takes away from some of the more dark and serious and the realism that they have built up already. You know what I mean? It's adding, and I think, you know, I could kind of relate to some fans who did not like King Ezekiel and his tiger and how he talked as a king, and this is not something that is new in the world of The Walking Dead, these really kooky characters. And I did enjoy King Ezekiel. Yes, he was kooky, and yes, absolutely, there was some parts of him that it even took me a minute, because there was real violent things that happened before that. We had Glenn's death, and then, we meet this character who's pretending he's a king, and he has this tiger, and it's really theatrical. And there was some parts that it was hard to swallow. It was hard to get through. It was hard to read. It wasn't as interesting. I had to read over it a couple times. The character had to grow on me a little bit. So maybe this excuse me, sorry. So maybe this character has to grow on me a little bit as well. However, the one aspect I didn't like in the cliffhanger was the simple fact that they built up the tension, and it was a nice little joke, and it showed off how kooky and this character is likes to play around and goof off, but at the same time, it was just like one of those false cliffhanger endings. It was like we build up the tension, ha ha ha, it's all a joke, but in all reality, this entire issue just kind of felt like we needed more, like nothing at all happened. We had a little bit of dialogue, and even for issues where it's a little more of a slow burn, this didn't really feel like a slow burn. It felt like we got introduced to this character, and we got, half the issue of just her dialogue to just overdose on how kooky the character is and how she talks so much, and she's kind of like silly, but she is a survivor also. And I will admit, though, I did not mind the Princess of Pittsburgh name. I did not mind that at all, and I kind of wish now that it would have been done totally different. It would have been a different character. Maybe she had a little group, and she can even be kooky and chill and whatever, but she kept her group alive, and her group got slaughtered, and they're down to like just 3 of them, and the 2 call her the Princess of Pittsburgh, and she loves the sound of that. She takes care of her people, show her being kooky, but at the same time responsible and caring and smart, put a good head on her shoulders. She's the one who comes out into the middle of the road to confront these people in a playful way, and leaves her people off in the bushes to make sure that these people are good. See what I mean? How there's some aspects where I was like, bleh, but then there's other aspects where I'm like, man, I could really get down with that if it was just polished and just done a little bit different. Anyway, with that being said, I have gotten a handful of messages, like 7 of them, about this issue. Not a single one is positive. There's fans that just downright despise this issue. I did not think it was that bad at all. There's one fan that sent a picture of the issue in the garbage can, and he just said, I'm done reading this issue. And my other friend who didn't like it even messaged me and said, yo, so-and-so. They were laughing because he sent him the same picture. And he said, yeah, so-and-so's done reading this issue, the Walking Dead comic. He's burnt out. This issue killed it for him. I think he was just joking, but still, I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. Like I said, I got 7 messages, give or take, and they're all negative. I don't think it's as bad as those messages, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this issue. So leave your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box for Fear the Princess, issue 171. Stay tuned. We got an update for the shipping for Doomsday Kingdom. Check out doomsdaykingdom.com. I'm going to start in a week. I'm going to start posting up some more news, kind of keep the website updated. And then we got The Walking Dead, death predictions for Alexandria coming up as well. And then The Last of Us, I'm getting back into making the videos now. So, yeah, thoughts and opinions, and stay tuned for an update vid. Bye.